If you're wondering if you can get a CCJ from a parking ticket, the answer is yes, but it will depend on what kind of parking fine it is and whether it gets that far. A county court judgment, CCJ, is a legal order in the UK used to recover money owed to creditors. It can push people to pay their debts, including unpaid fines, and is usually issued when other collection methods have failed. A CCJ is serious because it turns what might have initially become a non-legally enforceable fine into one that can be pursued through legal channels. Initially, private parking tickets, known as parking charge notices, aren't legally enforceable when they're issued. They work a little bit more like an invoice for breaching the rules that are set by private parking owners. Initially, private parking tickets, known as parking charge notices, aren't legally enforceable when they're issued. They're a bit more like an invoice for breaching the rules set by private parking operators. However, ignoring or refusing to pay these invoices can lead to serious consequences. If the private parking operator decides to take the matter to court and you haven't paid or successfully appealed the ticket, a judge may issue the CCJ against you, making the fine legally enforceable. CCJs can have severe implications. If you receive one and fail to pay the fine within a month, it will appear on your credit report where it will remain for 6 years. This can negatively impact your ability to secure loans, credit cards, or even mortgages during that time, as creditors view CCJs as indicators of financial unreliability. Penalty charge notices are issued by local councils for parking violations in council-owned car parks. The process and consequences differ from private parking tickets. If you ignore a penalty charge notice, you won't receive a CCJ. Instead, the council may issue something called an order of recovery, and this is another type of court order that gives you 21 days to pay the fine. Failure to comply can result in bailiffs being authorised to visit your home to collect possessions equivalent to the debt owed. While an order of recovery isn't as damaging to your credit score as a CCJ, it's still a serious legal step, and ignoring it is not advisable. You can appeal this order if you do believe it was issued incorrectly or you have ongoing appeals. Ignoring a parking charge notice from a private operator can escalate quickly. If taken to court and the case is ruled against you, resulting in a CCJ can lead to additional legal and financial troubles. It'll have an impact on your credit score because a CCJ stays on your credit report for 6 years, which affects your creditworthiness and ability to get extra credit and financial services. If the CCJ isn't settled promptly, then it might lead to enforcement actions such as visits from bailiffs to recover the amount through asset seizure. Additional costs incurred from court proceedings and debt recovery actions can add to the original fine, increasing the financial burden on you. If you want to avoid receiving a CCJ, that's a county court judgment, from a parking ticket, as soon as you get that parking ticket, whether it's a parking charge notice from a private operator or a penalty charge notice from a local council, pay the fine if you do believe that it is justified. Early payment often means that you can get a reduced rate, meaning that you're not having to pay out as much money. Work out which type of notice you've received. Private parking tickets are initially unenforceable, whereas council-issued penalty charge notices can escalate more directly into legal action if you ignore it. If you believe that the ticket was issued in error, then you do have the right to appeal, but make sure you get as much evidence as you possibly can, whether it's photos of unclear signs or maybe proof of payment for parking, witness statements, whatever you can get to support your case. If you decide to dispute a ticket, then communicate promptly with the issuing authority or company. Keep records of all correspondence and make sure that you meet any deadlines specified in the appeals process. If the situation escalates and you're facing potential court action, getting legal advice can sometimes help. It means that you'll have more of an understanding of what's going on. Now, if you do want to speak to a professional, then you may just want to have a chat with an online solicitor. JustAnswer are currently running a £5 trial, and you can ask them as many questions as you want in the online chat. I'll leave a link for them under this video, and if you do use it, you'll be supporting the Debt Advice Service, so thanks.